G'day folks, Ben here from Gold Diggers. Video from the car today. I'm actually in the car park at work. One of the questions I get very frequently is how do I use my GPS points out in the field. So I thought today we'd have a quick look at what I had been using, why I switched over to another system, and we'll just go through the pros and cons of each. Okay, so realistically this is what I've used for years. It's a Magellan little handheld GPS. The beauty of it was I'd have it mounted in the car, and when I went for a detect I'd rip it out of the car and I'd have it with me the whole time. The downside of it is that as I'm getting older, I find the screen pretty hard to read. The eyesight's not getting any better, and while it had all my waypoints on it, and it was just near impossible to read in the sun, driving down a rough dirt track, bouncing around. So that was my problem. While they're very good as a handheld device, I also found it very hard to move the screen around without having the actual stylus with me all the time. So, but it proved it was a very good machine. Okay, so it's a bit of a rough and ready video, bouncing around in the car, but so I knew I had to go away from the Magellan system. I just couldn't use it when I was driving, and I couldn't see where I was on the GPS. So I looked at a number of options. I love Google Earth. It's fantastic to be able to zoom in on a satellite image. The downside of Google Earth was that you can't, as soon as you lose internet connectivity on your phone or your iPad or whatever you're using, you got no maps. So that didn't really work out that well. I still use it. I still use it when I'm at home or at the shop to show people stuff. So that was out, and you can't even download the maps from Google Earth to your iPad. So it was useless, because virtually every goldfield you go to, you don't have internet connection. So I did a big search, and what I came up with was a program called Gaia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, we'll have a look at that now. Okay, so this is the system I've ended up settling on, and I'm really quite happy with it. You can see it, it sits right in the passenger seat, and it's on a flexible mount that you can just adjust any direction you want, but a flexible mount. Charge is plugged in, runs up the back. It's charged, plugged in all the time. So the beauty of this system is that the screen's so much bigger, and the older you get with the eyes, that's important. So here's the program here. So it's Gaia. Now this will be this is actually I've got zoomed in on Relic at the moment. The beauty of this is, so this is just an old iPad 3, I think. It does have a slot. The important thing with this is that you've got to have any iPad with a slot to take a SIM card. You don't need, it's got a GPS in it. The ones that are just Wi-Fi only don't have GPSs in it. I found this out over many weeks. So So I don't put a SIM card in this. All I do is what you can do with this is you can download the maps at home that you want. So for instance, this is the Warwick area. I don't have any maps between here at home or at the shop and Browns Plains, and Warwick I should say. I've only just downloaded the maps that I want, Jurakai Forest, a state forest out there, and those maps, when I lose internet connectivity or Wi-Fi, those maps stay on the machine. So as you can see, I'll see if I can get in a bit closer here, but as you can see, all the waypoints are there. When you click on a waypoint, it brings up the name of the mine. You can also see that green line, that's the previous track that I've gone on, and it'll store your tracks. The other advantage, and something that I really wanted in the field, was that I could just go up here to layers and I can turn on my, I'll get rid of that screen, I can turn on the satellite map of the area. So we're still in the same area there. And you can zoom right in on it, and you'll get a decent quality satellite map of it. So I've found this a very, very good little system. I load all of my waypoints on it. You can load it on your PC at home before you go. Download the maps you want onto your iPad, let it sync up, and then away you go, and you've got your maps with you all the time. The other thing I use, and the other thing I missed from the handheld Magellan, was I could take it with me. Let me just turn you around here. I could take the Magellan machine with me when I was detecting. So the big advantage of that is if I found a piece of gold or I found a spot I wanted to look at, I could put the waypoint in straight away. The advantage, the thing I found with Gaia, is that I can also download that onto my phone, and I can add waypoints to it on my phone, and all the phone, the iPad, and also my computer, when I get back into Wi-Fi, they sync up together. So that waypoint will eventually get onto the iPad. You know, it may not happen exactly the day I'm out in the field, but it will happen. And that's really all I want. I don't necessarily need it to sync up exactly all the time. Now, there's a downside. While once you buy your Magellan, you basically have got use of it for free, and the Vantage Point software that they use on the computer is fantastic. Gaia costs you I think it was $31 Australian just for the app, and then to get the satellite map, that was another $30 odd, I think. You'd have to check the current pricing on it, but by far and away, the ability to be able to drive exactly to a waypoint, to have it follow you, to be driving along in live, and as you're going, the satellite map is scrolling through, and you can, if you get a good quality satellite map, you can see things on the 100 meters to the left of you that you didn't even know were there, and you're driving along, you pick something up and you think, oh, I'll just get out of the car and have a look. So for me, that's the system I'm using. I've got all my waypoints in it. There's about 12,000 waypoints on it. I've got satellite map in the bush with no reception. I've got a good topo map in the bush with no reception. And okay, it's going to cost me $60 a year, but a bit more than $60 a year, but it's the way technology's going, and for me it's just phenomenal.